can move to being the leadership guru, the next Tony Robbins, as it were. Mini Tony Robbins, as I'm a mini, whatever you want to call me. They can do it. It's just if you want to, it's doable.
And how did you get your contracts with? How did you get the sponsorships?
Sure. The big thing is like what I just said, which you didn't know I was saying answering that. But Gary, it's I have an intense personal brand in my space. I'm not known. Farmers don't know me. Biologists don't know me. But if you're a large brand reaching small businesses, absolutely, I can almost guarantee it. You know the name Raymon Ray. There's no question about it. No question. And you see how narrow and niche my market is. Large brand reaching small businesses.
That's a great tagline, or that's a great positioning statement.
Thank you. Microsoft, AT&T, Verizon, all the brands know me. I'm not saying it arrogantly, I'm saying it to help, meaning all their people who will need to do their job to market, they know Raymon. Doesn't mean I get all the contracts or, you'd be I'd fly you to my corporate office in Uruguay by now. So, but you get my point. So how I get them is I have a strong personal brand, and I have two halves to what I do. One half, I build my tribe. Thousands and thousands who follow me. Again, not as big as Kim Kardashian at all, but you can Google me, my little tribe of people who follow me on various platforms. On one half, on the other half, the handful of big clients who want Raymon. And that's how I grow what I do.
That's great. Okay, so now I'm going to change the topic a tiny bit. Sure. So on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of being a master presenter, who would be your 10?
My 10 would be easily, without question, who I look up to is probably Seth Godin. I've heard a lot of speakers, and I'm not very impressed, not in a bad way, meaning most are okay. But if I had to sit at the feet and be and watch carefully how somebody does something, it's probably Seth Godin. And I must add, I don't have a name, but some of my peers in NSA, watching their craft, how they do vocal lines, etc., as you rip it apart. But Seth Godin, if I had to name one.
Okay. So if Seth is a 10, how would you rate your delivery?
I would never say this publicly, Gary, ever.
Okay.
But what others have said, my wife included...
No. You're gonna have to fess up here. It's okay if you're saying you're a 10, but and you wouldn't. Look, I don't want to influence you, but you wouldn't be. We wouldn't be having this phone call right now if somebody didn't think you were awfully darn good. Okay.
I appreciate it, Gary. I believe in Gary that I'm by the talent God has given me, a 10. If I could go a little higher, I would.
Okay, good.
I have to add more, Gary, because I can't. I feel bad saying a 10, but I suck, Gary, at numbers. I don't know math well. I'm not strategic. My handwriting's sloppy. I don't even spell very well. I've had problems when I was a child. So that's just me.
You don't have to backtrack. You don't have to backtrack on the 10. I can appreciate the 10.
I'm not.
Okay, good. 10's 10. All right.
All right. What I was saying was that I believe it since I have those negative parts in life.
Yeah, we don't have to go into the negative parts, but I appreciate you trying to cover yourself.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So what have you done to perfect your delivery? Speaking coach, whatever.
I think there's a few things. One, I believe it is a talent. If you take a look at our basketball players, football players, and all those things, I believe some people are gifted. I really do. I think I work with other speakers, and the people come. I coach and help people, not coach professionally, and I think some people just have a talent for certain things. The skater, the gymnast. So I believe I have a talent, Gary. I really do.
Yeah, that's great. And then have you done anything to develop that talent?
Yes, for sure. And that's what I'll move into. So I think the other thing is, Gary, two, I ask for critique. It sounds corny maybe, but I ask for critique when I finish the stage. And by now, of course, some of the critique's the same. You speak a little fast, but I ask for critique. Three, NSA, and I'm not gassing you because you're interviewing me, but when I can get to the meetings, I like going to the meetings when they get into the technicality of speaking. For example, and these are people who may look up to me, but we can all learn from each other. One or two people told me how to stand for the camera. You don't want to freeze and look like an idiot, but how can you get the cameraman or lady to take good photos? So things like that have helped me. Learning how to own the stage, split the stage in three and use it in thirds. So because the junior speakers who don't really, they know they have to move. They don't know how. They'll pace back and forth like an Easter bunny, and it looks dizzying. But there's an art to moving across the stage.
Okay. All right. So if a speaker has an okay delivery, what advice would you give for them to improve or master their delivery?
Two things I'd say. Get a coach or someone you trust who can critique you harshly, not your friend or your mother, and you have to be willing to listen, Gary. That's the biggest thing. I think there's all of us, hey, whether your wife or me or whoever, you critique somebody, no, I didn't do it, no, well thank you, but, no but. They said your joke was not funny, so it's not funny. End of story.
So kind of be teachable, right?
Thank you, yes, be teachable. That's the main thing, be teachable, yes.
Okay. A lot of people ask for advice, but they really don't want to get advice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
okay.
Correct.
So I want to change the topic to content for a minute.
Sure.
And on a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 would be Peter Drucker in management or Deming in quality, how would you rate your content expertise in, let's say, your area?
I'd say probably 8.
Okay.
Maybe 7.5, give or take.
Okay.
And because I'm the sizzle. I give myself a 10 for how to present it. But there's people who can kick my butt when it comes, hey, Ramon, sit with us and do this. Just to clarify my comment.
Yeah, it's okay. You don't have to try to go back to that 10. I fully appreciate it. Okay.
I'm clarifying the 7.5.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, I gotcha.
Okay.
All right, let me just see here. Let's see. So, have you written a book in your topic area?
Yeah, well, so I've written 3 books. I wrote a book about Facebook marketing, which is it's more niche, but about Facebook with Facebook. I did that a few years ago. And then I have a book out about technology for small business. So the answer is yes.
Okay, and so how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important was your book or books to your success? If 1 is nothing and 10 is could not have done it without the book or books.
It's probably a 6. It has helped, so if you can help me put that number. But if I didn't do it, I'd probably be at where I am in some way, but the book has helped me. So I'd say 6, if that's a good point of that.
And so your ideal audience would be small business owners?
Correct. Owners of small businesses, or entrepreneurs, that's a political, there are differences, but entrepreneurs, small business owners, or those who are working a 9-to-5 job and may look to leave or do better in marketing. But ideally, small business owners, yes.
And so, can you give me the distinction between small businesses and entrepreneurial organizations?
Sure. Assuming you know the NSA world to some degree, I would say that our NSA peers are small business owners. And I'll juxtapose that to entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, as I am, is seeking to scale. May want to sell their company, multiple revenue streams, may do joint ventures. The Jeffrey Hazlitt of the community, if that helps.
Yeah.
We're not doing one thing. We maybe have a TV show, may fail, Gary. It's just we're doing a few things. We probably have 2 or 3 LLCs. That's what I see as an entrepreneur.
Okay. And do you use a speaking agent?
I do not. But Gary, if you find me one, I will come and wash your car for 6 months.
Yeah. No, I used. That's a funny story. I had a couple of agents. I had one agent who founded the International Speakers Bureau. Her name was Goodman. I don't remember. So I thought, okay, she has a speakers bureau. I thought, perfect. Okay.
Right.
That didn't work out, but anyway, whatever. And so,
I do not.
Yeah, how many? Do you work with speakers bureaus, and if so, about how many?
I do not work with Speakers Bureau. I'm on e-speakers, but I don't think it's not done. So no, I do not work with Speakers Bureaus.
Okay, all right.
But my best tool, I don't know how much you're writing on this, or if it's helpful, but one of my best tools is RamonRay.com, my personal branded website. That is, I've gotten many gigs just from that site alone.
And who created your website?
I did.
That's a good answer, right? If you're going to be speaking on the topic, you might as well, right?
Well, when I ask my friends what can improve it, I get 100 responses, but I said, you know what?
Exactly. Nobody knows what they're talking about. All right. Let me just see here. So I think I can answer some of these. Some of these are not necessarily applicable. Like for your keynotes, how do you ensure it's not a one-night stand? And it's probably because you're sponsored, right?
Yes, but I can help. What I would do is follow up, meaning I definitely use a CRM system and go back to the people who hired me. Hey, thanks for hiring me last year. Would you like me to come again? Or how else can I help you? Are you going to take this program national? So yada, yada, yada. So I do try to give repeat clients in business. Even though it's sponsored, hey, there's other people like me they could hire.
And do you get along okay from people from the South? Because I love people who talk fast. But are they okay with people talking fast?
They are not. I'm told are two things. It's endearing and they like it, but I am often asked to slow down. Yes.
Oh, interesting. My daughter is a fast talker. So anyway, okay. So let me just move through some of these. So, what advice would you give to an aspiring speaker?
Sure. I would say 2 or 3 or 4 things. One, Gary, I think that as a speaker, somebody who's opening their mouth, can you speak? It sounds maybe silly, but not all speakers are created the same, Gary, as you know. So, can you speak?
So, it's a self-assessment.
Self-assessment, but listening to others, meaning, you're doing it a few times, you spoke at your local school board or whatever it is, and other people say, oh, wow, can you share that again, or can you come here? So you have the sense somehow, can you speak?
Okay.
I think, too, as Steph Golden, my mentor, as he said me, be clear what game you're playing. Are you a consultant that really wants to speak to get leads and clients, which is okay, not bad, that's great? Or are you trying to be, making it up, the next Tony Robbins? Are you trying to be a stage killer? I would start there, and other advice, I would say hang out with Toastmasters and NSA, because these are organizations where you can find watering pools or watering holes, whatever you call it, like-minded people who can help you. I've learned so much, just my craft and little tips and things like this. So those are 3 things. I'm sure I could think of more if I had more time. Meaning if I thought about it for a day or 2. But yeah, can you speak, I think, is the main thing, because if you have innate talent, Gary, the rest will come. People will find you.
Okay.
As happens to me.
Yeah. And so let me change the topic a tiny bit, and I'm going to actually. Okay, hold on one second.
No problem.
All right. So I'd like to ask you a personal question. Well, it's actually personal for me. It's sure. If you don't mind, okay?
No, don't mind. No.
So I started, built, and sold 4 companies. So I'm an entrepreneur, wow. Okay, and I worked in venture capital doing 2 tours, and I'm just giving this to you for some background. It's not bragging at all, okay? So I'm a tenured professor. I teach marketing and entrepreneurship. So I created a marketing course, and we had 33 student teams accepted on Kickstarter in 1 semester in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the background, okay? My real area is innovation. I've been in that area for 25 plus years. Written, 12 books in that area.
Wow.
So my question is, so I'm a full tenured professor. I'm in the speaking business as part-time. Nancy and I are going to try to do something together.
Nice.
So I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm trying to figure out it's exactly what Seth was helping you with, right? Be clear about the game you want to play. So back, let's say maybe 10, 15 years ago, I was giving talks to large companies like AT&T and Armstrong and the big companies.
Right.
And I did that. That was fine. Very hard to get because they don't know they need you, and if they hired me, that's saying that somebody else is not doing their job.
Yes.
So, and then I was hired away by this venture capital company. I left my tenured professor job. I took a leave of absence for a couple of years, worked for Spencer Trask in the city as their chief innovation officer. And then when I came back, I decided, okay, I had taken the innovation game as far as I could take it. I'll try the entrepreneurship game. And I tried to market myself to all the different venture capital firms because I have developed very extensive research in this area of technical innovation. And I found that nobody was interested. So then what happened? And I've been kind of in and out of the speaking business. I went to my first NSA conference in 1985. Then I went again like 2 years ago and again like last year. Anyway, so then I said, okay, let me do a self-assessment. What am I really good at? I mean, like, what are the two aces in my hand?
Right.
The two aces in my hand are, number one, I'm a fantastic researcher. And number two, I do best practice case studies. The best, I could hold up my stuff to anybody. So then I said, okay, what can you do with this? And I was, Nancy was on this presidential track, and then, so I said, okay, and I have a background in healthcare. I started, built, and sold a healthcare company a long time ago. So I said, and technology, as you know, in the healthcare field is exploding. So I said, okay, let me study some best practices in the healthcare field as it has to do with these 10 technologies. Things like, telemedicine, and there's a whole bunch of others. So then I did these best practice cases in each of these areas, and I wrote these 11 books in each of the areas, radio frequency identification, et cetera, et cetera. And so then I was doing that and thinking, okay, that's where I'll have my home for a while. And I couldn't get a speaking engagement there at all. Then I got a grant from a hospital. I'm sorry that this is taking so long to tell you the story. I appreciate you listening. I got a grant from a healthcare foundation. Did I lose you? All you have to do is say you're done listening. You didn't have to hang up, Raymond. Thanks a lot. That hurt like deep knife to the heart. Okay, so then I got a grant. It was about for $25,000 from the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey. And they got me into 6 of their hospitals. And I went in at the system level, and these are very, very large, like Atlantic Health, Robert Wood Johnson, and giving this talk, and they liked it a lot. Okay, and so now they're thinking about, I'm thinking about doing a bunch of other stuff in there. And so essentially I had these 3 areas: innovation, entrepreneurship, and healthcare innovation. And so I got off the phone today, and so I'm thinking, in all of these interviews I'm doing with these people, one of the messages is, number one, it's exactly what Seth told you, right? Be clear on what game you're playing. Pick very, very clear, pick an industry, a topic. And so I thought, okay, it should be healthcare innovation. I should change my website, totally focus on that. Okay.